So I'm going to summarize this as quickly as possible. I haven't come out about all this information yet. I've been kind of really involved in a lot of things in the spiritual realm for the last several months. I didn't ask for it. It just kind of got thrust upon me. It all started when I had a bad day one night, and I love my stuffed animals. I've always had stuffed animals, and I was like talking to this little penguin. And then I got shouted very, very specific facts and information about a tragic death about a boy that lived in Oregon, and his body was found in 1963 in the lake. And what happened was, this is how it all started. I'm being specific about this. You can look it up. When they finally identified the body, they found his name was Stephen Alexander. I never heard of that before, though. And for some reason, I was shouted the facts about it, like telepathically. I know it sounds crazy, but it was. And then, I was like, I'm going to sleep on this. That's weird. And then I woke up the next day, and I looked it up on the internet. I'm like, oh, that's an actual person. That actually happened. So then, obviously I was trying to figure out, why, all that happened. So start off with that. And then I looked more into the case, and I just felt like I was trying to always think, well, why was that told to me? Why? What's the reason? What am I supposed to do? I didn't really know. And that was months ago. And then just recently, I got probably 7 to 8 visions in my head of my mom, who's dead, in case you didn't know. My mom with her left arm around Stevie and giving a thumbs up. I didn't ask for it. I was doing something else. I was just going grocery shopping. But now it makes more sense of why that maybe this information was shouted at me, because maybe my mom has a connection with the kid. So that happened. And then I got a print made with some of my beloved relatives that are, passed away, like Mr. Lunar. And actually, right before he was put down, the plan is he was going to work at the school that I work at, which is the ACEs for special needs kids. And coincidentally, so Stevie, when they were finally, I know I didn't finish the whole thing about the case, but basically he was unidentified. A fisherman found him in 1963 in a lake in Oregon. And then he was buried at the graveyard. I already called them and talked to them too, as Baby Doe known only to God. And there's I heard that he may have been moved back to New Mexico, because I think that's where he was born. But yeah, maybe he was about 6 or 7 years old when he was discovered. So I don't know. There's just a lot of stuff that I'm trying to process right now and trying to figure out. But what I was talking about Lunar, he was going to be working at the ACEs. He was going to be actually a classroom cat and come in and have fun and have animal therapy time with the kids. And that was kind of my plan. It was part of my plan. The other part was I was going to try to train him to do commercials and movies and stuff. And then, I had to put him down because he couldn't breathe because one of his lungs didn't work. But then it just kind of all made sense when I thought about it the other day, and that Lunar might be helping taking care of Stevie, because based on when they finally got to actually have the proper technology to identify the body, because they kind of let the case go for a bit after he was buried as Baby Doe. It was brought back, And then they were able to do kind of like a scan and get like a rendering of what his face looked like. And it especially with like the way that his skull was shaped and stuff, they could tell that he most likely had Down syndrome. And the story is not story, like this is actually what happened. His mom went out with Stevie one day, and like it's quoted. She said something like, "Not gonna have to worry about Stevie anymore." And then she came back without him. Because when the fishermen found him, he was in a blanket wrapped up with a bunch of cords with weights tied to him. So, yeah, mom, they didn't know how to deal with a special needs kid, and she just threw him in a lake. Yeah, it's extremely depressing. I never had heard about this before until it was shouted in my head one day when I was just sitting in my room. So, I mean, and everything makes sense. Everything connects. Like, my, I, for a while I've been wondering, like, why did I hear about Stevie? You know, why? And I've been wondering that for months. And then, you know, it made sense. Well, I told you, like, my mom sent me the images like 7 or 8 times of her being like, "Hey, I got him. He's good." But it makes sense because my mom loved children. I just wanted everything for them. Like, that was like her passion, was children, and like taking care of them, making sure that they had a good child and it'd be okay. So, makes sense. And then Lunar, that was supposed to work at the Aces with these same type of kids, might be with him too. So everything is connecting, and I'm just trying to process this. But hope you enjoyed the story.